Well, listen, video is critically important, and I think if you think about Time Inc., the place you have to start is we've got 22 of the world's most iconic brands that, for a long time I think were only manifested or represented in print form. Great storytelling, et cetera, but there's no reason why we can't take and extend these brands and tell our stories through sight, sound, and motion, which is exactly what we're doing. And so I think at the core, the transformation of this company is really about investing heavily in video. We've got studios in our offices. You saw today we're doing hundreds of hours of live programming. We're investing in original series. We're investing in creating original programming that we're selling to the television network. So there is a lot of activity around video as a core part of our transformation story.
And just give us an idea, a little bit of the scope of the way that marketers work with the Time Inc. properties, both in terms of the editorial properties and, of course, the very substantial custom studio you have.
Sure. Well, one of the things that we've done over the last 12 months, those that have followed Time Inc., is we moved from a kind of a publisher model or a brand selling model to an enterprise selling model where, we're taking the power of the portfolio to market, right? And I think that does a couple things. It allows us to bring our digital scale. We've got 130, 140, we're top 10 ComScore digital property, number one. Two, we can create programs like you saw today. Coinage is a video-based program that we developed in partnership with Geico, talking about any kind of financial issue across multiple life stages. And we put the power of the distribution network to work to drive real audience engagement with that. The other thing that kind of the enterprise selling model allows us to do is really work in a much more comprehensive way with the Foundry, which is our branded content studio, to develop content that isn't specific to any one brand, but can actually live in a bunch of different places, whether it's our owned and operated properties or distributed through any of the platforms like Facebook or Twitter, and through our social handles. So, it creates a much, much larger distribution channel for, branded and native and, programming that we create together. The other thing I tell you is that, we do a lot of, kind of original programming that partners can sponsor. So rather than doing something that's, branded or native to them, the programming you saw today, we have the opportunity to integrate brands into that editorial programming, surround it with their messaging, title cards, pre-roll sponsorships, things like that. And one of the things that I talked about today that I think the market has asked for a lot is, okay, put some skin in the game. All this programming, high quality, beautifully done, beautifully produced, but we want to make sure that that will find an audience. And so, we are committed to using the power of our portfolio and our distribution network to actually drive engagement and viewership of this program.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about data that was touched on a little bit here. And of course, the Viant thing is a big deal, and all the first-party data that you guys have. How does that fit into what you're doing?
Sure. Well, so we acquired Viant probably a little over a year ago, and they've got an database, a people-based database of over 250 million consumers in the U.S. So what we have the ability to do, again, if you think about the creation and the distribution of video, if it's a travel segment or a program like that, we can actually use the device graph and the data that we have to make sure that that programming and ultimately the advertising goes to, beyond a demographic, goes to somebody who is in market to travel or who has a propensity to do X, Y, or Z. So everything we do is more data infused than it's historically been.